Are you a fucking weirdo freak? You like harassing the backline? Do you play ball in Overwatch? Do you enjoy sprinting around like a crazed man or woman? Are you a fan of dive compositions? Do you enjoy when people are angry with you and you get some sort of fulfillment from this? Or are you none of these things but you want to be these things? Well, Captain America is for you. Here is a guide on how to play Captain America and Marvel Rivals. So I have been playing a shit ton of Captain America and Marvel Rivals. I was a ball player in Overwatch. I stopped playing in Overwatch 2 because that game is dog shit and they ruin tanks. I did try Venom a little bit. I wasn't a huge fan of Venom. Even though his kit is almost exactly like Ball's, the way that you play him isn't really like Ball necessarily. And I found that Captain America's playstyle, the way that he kind of goes on flanks and the way that he harasses backlines is so much more like Ball. That's a little bit of history about me anyways. So with this video, I will go over his abilities, basic abilities, just explaining them. And then I will go over basically like tech. So like certain things that I have found that is really helpful, things that I've learned along the way, and then we'll go over things like combos and things like that. So first up we have Cap's primary, which is called Sentinel Strike. Now Sentinel Strike is just your primary. For all those nerds out there, I will put up the exact stats. So your melee does 40 damage. So every second hit of your melee, you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, my ammo, it says 0 out of 4. Watch when I hit this bot twice. Now I have 4, and what these are ranged attacks. So your primary does 40, but when I have these ranged attacks, these do 45. And this is every second hit. So this is Sentinel Strike. I will go over more in-depth combos and what you should be doing, like your gameplay loop basically, after we go over all of the abilities. But yes, that is Sentinel Strike. Okay, next we have Cap's next ability. It's called Leading Dash. This is basically just your run. I mean, not basically, it is your run. It just allows you to sprint. This gives you a 33% movement boost. So you should basically always be moving like this. When you're running around the map, when you want to get places, you're always running. It is the quickest tank, I think, as far as movement goes. The jump height on this ability is 5 meters. And now your next ability, which kind of ties in with Leading Dash, called Super Soldier Slam. This is going to allow you to slam down on enemies, and it will CC them a little bit into the air, launching them up. The maximum distance on this is 20 meters. The damage is 30, and the cooldown is 12 seconds. So let me show this off. You can see they get booped into the air, and then it goes on cooldown for 12 seconds. Alrighty. Cap's next ability is Vibranium Energy Saw. Hope I am saying that right. But this is just your shield throw. Now, with the shield throw, it does ricochet up to 3 times. The damage starts at 70, and then there's a 20% for each ricochet. So you can see I got 2 ricochets. I don't know how to replicate it in a practice range, but usually what you're gonna do is like run around. You're gonna see like a cluster of people. You can like jump up in the air and throw it and then like run away. It's nice like chip damage. It's nice to like annoy them, and it's kind of good to like jump around, like throw your shield to like bait out cooldowns. Cap's next ability is Liberty Rush. This is your dash ability. It does very little damage. It does 30 damage. And you can see when I use it, it goes on a 10-second cooldown. So instead of using this ability to do damage or to finish off kills, which you will do occasionally, if you can kill them, you can do it just to finish them off. But usually what you're going to do with this ability is you're going to use it as a get out of jail free card. So example, I will show you like basically like a loop of what you should be doing on Cap and how you should be using his dash to get away. So let's say I am, I have the high ground, I'm behind some enemies, we'll slam down on them, punch them a little bit. Oh, they're shooting me, I'm getting low, dash out, run away. And that is one extremely important thing about Captain America, is that you always want to have an ability to get out. So you always want to have this to get out, but you're usually going to be using that to engage. So you always want to save your dash to escape. Now, the reasons that you would use it to finish off an enemy is, say, like, I'm hitting this Luna Snow a bunch. They're super low. They're not getting healed. I am, like, right here, and I'm, like, calling to my team, oh, my God, please shoot them, help. That's when I would dash into them, is just to finish the kill. But if you dash into an enemy and you can't kill them, then don't dash into them. save it to get out. Cap's next ability is Living Legend. What this is just your shield. It's literally your shield. You're going to be using this mainly to get away from the enemy after you've punched them in the face a bunch and they're mad at you. Your shield can reflect damage, so it is random though, but you can see it is reflecting it. You can also reflect ultimates with this, so if you can ever catch an Iron Man about the ult, if you reflect it, it will reflect it back at him. So that is something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is that it does have a delay once I release it. You can see there's a 1 second delay, so be careful about that. Also, when you're in the air, you can't shield, so that's another kind of bummer. Another thing though is that when you're running, you can actually hold your shield and run around with it like a crazed lunatic. If you're going to be running around, I definitely recommend holding your shield up. You might as well. But yeah, that is your ability, Living Legend. Alrighty, next up we finally have Captain America's ult. And it's called Freedom Charge. So what this does is it creates a path where you're running, and in that path it grants him and his allies bonus health and movement speed. Also with this ability, when you use your shield and you're running, it will boop enemies. A lot of CC and a lot of sustain. Okay, now how you're going to want to use this ability is you're going to want to use it after you've been in the fight and you want to use it to sustain. So think of it as like a second life almost. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with D.Va from Overwatch, but you know, oftentimes you use her ult as a second life. You want to do this as well with Cap's ult because you are near unkillable in his ult. Here's a quick clip of me going into a full team. You can see that they're clearly shooting me and they're just not able to kill me. We use this to push the last point. So this ult is the ultimate sustain ult. I mean, think of it as like Brig Rally. It's insane that a tank has like a support ult. Now your team will likely be brain dead and they aren't going to follow up with you, but this is hopefully what this video will address. If you see a Captain America ult, run in there with them and shoot the enemy in the face, because his ult is going to sustain you so much. It should be you should win the fight off of it. So that is Captain America's abilities. Next, I'll go over a couple of like combos that you can use, and then just general like ideas of how to play him. Okay, sweet. Now that we've established Captain America's basic abilities, now we'll go over what you are basically supposed to be doing as a tank. Now, Captain America can work as a solo tank. I've played many games as a solo tank. Your main job is not to hit the other tank. It's to flank and it's to kill their supports. That's what you should be doing every single fight. There are instances where it is acceptable to fight the other tank, but for the most part, your job is to be an annoying little rat. You want the enemy supports to hate you. You want them to fear you. All of your abilities do very little damage, so you hitting a 650 HP tank with your little fists for 40 damage per is going to do nothing. Now, the only time I would say that it is acceptable to fight a tank is if you are trying to like contest the point, if it's like overtime and you know there's no other better target to hit, then like yes, you can fight the tank a little bit. The tank is killable and you can kill him, you would fight the tank, but if all you're doing is running at the tank, you're doing it wrong. Captain America is a dive tank. Your job is to kill these supports, and that is what you should be doing every single fight. Alright, so now that we've gone over the basic idea of Cap, I want to go over some like gameplay loops and like how you should engage and how you should disengage. First, I'll show this all in the practice range, and then I'll show some clips of me actually doing it in game, just for a better example. Also, I want to add real quick, another part about playing Captain America is that you're a flanker, so your supports are going to have a hard time trying to heal you if they're flanking, which they shouldn't be doing unless they're God. But you need to know where the health packs are, and you need to play off health packs. Knowing when to engage and knowing when to get out and knowing how to stay alive is the most important thing on Cap. Also, like, not taking a ton of resources from your team is so important. So, like I was saying, the main thing you need to get comfortable with is knowing the map, knowing where health packs are, and knowing your, like, cooldown cycle. So that's what we'll go over right now. Really what you want to do is you want to know the flank routes, and you kind of want to get there quickly. So, obviously running and stuff. But let's say I just get behind the enemy. I'm behind the enemy. I'm not on high ground, though. So I'm behind the enemy. I'm running around. I'm going to throw my shield at him, and then I'm going to run away super quick. That way that it kind of baits out cooldowns. Sometimes if they have CC, especially like a Luna or a Mantis, they'll like preemptively like throw their CC, and like sometimes you can make them miss. You can also block CC with your shield, so that's another thing. A lot of Lunas don't know this, but the higher you go, like the more they'll know. But yeah, you can block CC. So what a loop will look like is I'll kind of do that a couple times. So I'll throw my shield, run around, come back, wait a little bit, see what's going on. I'm looking for the supports, so I want to go on the supports. So I see the supports. I'm gonna jump up, throw my shield, slam down, and punch him. That combo does 160 damage, and you want to be practicing that. So run, throw your shield, slam, and punch. So I want to show some clips of me doing basically cap stuff. It's like the gameplay loop. You're gonna see I go on a flank, I ignore the tank, and I'm going towards the supports. So just take a look. Like,
yeah, everyone has one.
He's so funny. Like, what a little
It's so
nerd.
goofy.
What a little nerd.
He's a little bitch boy. Yeah, and he removed Asmongold's verified thing too. It's so silly.
So I also want to show another clip of like how to set up on defense and like the importance of like going in real quick and then like going out, getting back out, and then like resetting and then like going back in. Then oftentimes when you do this, like you're not always going to kill the target that you want to kill. So it's important not to stay too long. If you aren't going to kill them, just get out and reset, you know? So I think that's important to show.
Thank you, Raccoon.
That's the boost I needed.
Going around. Oh, dude, we have an AIDS coming.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know you can run with your shield. Cap.
Cap.
Oh god, they went Groot. That's actually kind of AIDS. So those are a few clips, just showing you like the general loop of, going in, trying to get a kill, going out, going back to safety. I hope that helps people like visualize like the loop on Cap. The reason I wanted to make this video is because I see a lot of people saying Captain America's bad. I think he's actually probably one of the best tanks in the game. I just think people haven't figured out how to play him. Maybe like in the upper like top 0.5%, the top 500 gamers, like maybe Cap isn't going to work with like triple sustain comps. But I kind of disagree because I've seen Flats play Cap in those lobbies. So I think Cap is probably one of the best tanks right now. I hope you have learned something. If you enjoyed the video, like it. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And if you think that I am fat and R-slurred, just call me that, please. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.